Tonight on Debate Amongst Friends, the Milwaukee Bucks get a brand new head coach. We're going to recap Game 1 and 2 of the Boston Celtics versus Cleveland Cavaliers series, and we're going to recap Game 1 of the Golden State Warriors versus the Houston Rockets series, as well as give predictions live right here on Debate Amongst Friends, starting now. Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, this is Debate Amongst Friends, live on YouTube. Yes, we're doing a video recording tonight. It's just myself. The doc is unable to join us tonight. He is enjoying himself, getting blessed out of revival. But I hope you decide to enjoy your stay here tonight as I provide for you the news and my predictions. So let's get ourselves started. Mike Budenholzer, the former Atlanta Hawks head coach, is now just signed to become the brand new Milwaukee Bucks head coach, beating out several people. Many, and I'm just gonna go straight into it. Many critics are saying that this is he got lucky with this hiring. He got blessed with this hiring because he get to play with Giannis. For those that are unaware, Giannis Antetokounmpo is quite possibly the next coming of the top best player in the league. Of course, KD does have something to say about that, but get a chance to be able to play alongside with him, especially after the season that he had. MVP caliber in my opinion, at least. But get a chance to coach him, and he had a chance to actually sit down and have breakfast with him earlier today, according to other news sources as well too. And I'm actually reading along as I'm going along. This is still breaking news, but do I think it's a good hiring? It keeps Mike employed for a couple of years. Do I think they're going to make any impact on the East? Absolutely not. I still feel like a coach like Mark Jackson or Becky Hammond could definitely, come into it and incorporate something new to it. And granted, Mike Budenholzer had some success all the way back in 2015 when he was the coach of the year, but that was 3 years ago, and this is 2018. But we'll have to wait and see. Maybe they can actually surprise us, and we'll just have to wait and see. So that's enough of that. Let's get into the fun stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk what happened last night. We have the Boston Celtics defeating the Cleveland Cavaliers. Oh, I do not want to be a Cavaliers fan. I'll start with that. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it, but we posted a video earlier about the certain reactions that the Cavalier fan base, or the LeBron fan base, or LeBron sexuals, or LeBron maniacs, however you want to call them. We posted a reaction video to spoof how they would react with all the trolling, the monumental, you know what? Let's just call it what it is. They got embarrassed. And granted, kudos to LeBron James, triple-double, 42 points as well too. He definitely showed up in the first half. Just that second half, we're starting to see that Father Time is undefeated. No matter how you look at it, eventually your body's going to start giving away. You can't go, 100 miles per hour every single night. And at least in LeBron's case this year, all 82 games as well too, you're going to get tired. And you've seen it. And the thing that hurt the most for the Cavaliers last night isn't the fact that he got tired, it's the fact that no one else on the bench helped out. And that's the part that hurts the most. That's the part that a lot of critics were talking about, was the fact that the bench didn't really do anything. And one person in particular who, had a pretty dirty play during the game, which was J.R. Smith, Jersey's own. Um, I mean, he played what 27 minutes in the game last night and got 0 points, and you're supposed to be a shooter. It doesn't fly that way. I mean, if you no, J.R. Smith is pretty much finished. And he's been riding coattails, and there's been a good history of players who rode coattails of stars, at least in LeBron James' case. James Jones. um, but J.R. Smith he has to show up. First game they got destroyed. Second game, I mean, it was a tale of two halves. The first half, the Cavaliers looked like they was rolling, and the second half, I mean, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Scary Terry Rozier. I mean, the young Bucks. Shout outs to the Bullet Club. The young Bucks are making a rise, and I love it. Former Celtics like Paul Pierce is loving it as well too. In fact, I actually got finished reading an article a few minutes before, even before I got the whole Budenholzer thing, but we don't care about that news anymore. But he was talking about how it's history repeating. What do you mean, Professor? Well, this is what I mean. All signs is pointing to LeBron James leaving next year. What team defeated him before he left to take his talents to South Beach? If you guessed the Boston Celtics, you be correct. And that's what he's talking about. It's the fact that LeBron most likely feels like he's done everything he can up till now, and there's really not much he can do from there. And even in the post game interviews with many of people, and especially for LeBron James, and let's focus on LeBron James because he's the most polarizing figure in sports for a second, but. He was just very relaxed, like he almost knew what's gonna happen. And I'll get to my game 3 predictions on Saturday. Well, it's for Saturday, but I'm doing it tonight in a second. But he just seems very nonchalant about everything. And I don't want to say it's holier than I kind of attitude, but at the same time, I still need to, you know, try to get some kind of empathy from him. You're now down 0-2, in which in the past he has some great history being down 0-2. He always managed to win those series, so it's not like it's impossible. But at the same time, he's playing with a team that is not giving him any help, except for Kevin Love, who's he's quietly having a pretty good series, but everyone else is looking terrible. The memes are out there. They're hilarious, by the way. Um, pointing fingers at George Hill, Cal Corver, who's supposed to be like the fourth or fifth offensive option, is the third offensive option for the team. That cannot happen, ladies and gentlemen, no matter how you look at it. And let's just look at the Boston Celtics side for a second. I mean, everyone is playing. This is a very team-oriented, and when I'm looking at this team, I'm thinking of the past, and I'm thinking of like the Trailblazers with Bill Walton, and how everyone worked together. It was a systematic success, and that's what I'm seeing here at Boston, who, hands down could have the coach of the year right now, Brad Stevens, who's doing a tremendous job of putting everyone in the right places to win. And of course, let me just talk about the moment of the game. Well, two moments, which Marcus Morris should have gotten a technical foul, but that's here or there. And B, I love the fact, and I'm a New York Knicks fan. Um, born and raised. There's actually a Knicks flag behind, but that's besides the point. But having that fire to not only motivate your team, but to stick up for your teammates as well too, is something that the New York Knicks fan base embrace so heavily. That's why we love people like Charles Oakley and John Starks and whatnot. But I'm gonna give a special shout out to Marcus Smart, who after the the flagrant foul that was put on Al Horford by J.R. Smith, he got in his face, and you know what? I love it. That's playoff basketball right there, baby. Should have been, and he got the flagrant, but the issue as well was during the little scuffle with himself and Marcus Smart, he also shoved him again. And you would think, someone doing something like this, the person would be suspended for the next game or have some kind of fine, but there was no disciplinary actions done on J.R. Smith. And that's the part that kind of confused me. And that's the part where mm, my conspiracy theory self, the conspirator John Gotti, comes out to say, well, how come this isn't happening? This is a high stake series happening right now. Um, and I just think back to the whole Draymond Green situation in the finals when the Cavaliers won it, but that's here and there. So let's talk. Game two's in the book. Let's talk in the future. Let's talk Saturday. John Gotti, the people are asking me right now, who will win Game three? A lot of people are riding their wave of Boston. They're young cats, like I was mentioning before, and you would think, you know what, they're gonna go up 3-0. They're going to the Q, and they steal one from the king in his house. I'm gonna disagree. I think this is gonna be the bounce back game. Um, I've mentioned this to not just the Doc, but to Duchess and the Duke as well too. That for some reason the role players for the Cavaliers play tremendously better at home versus away. Um, so you're gonna see a J.R. Smith sighting on Saturday. You're gonna see more of Cal Korver. You're gonna see Tristan Thompson, who is on the Mario Chalmers level of basketball right now, who shouldn't even be picking one up. But he's gonna have a showing. Like, everyone's gonna show up on Saturday for Game Three. Not because it's a must-win, but the fact that they feel way more comfortable playing at home versus playing elsewhere. And that's all I gotta say about that. So, and once again, ladies and gentlemen, we're just gonna go real quickly. Let's talk Game One for the other series in the Western Conference Finals. We have the Golden State Warriors, the defending, reigning, undisputed champion of the National Basketball Association. Shout out to Paul Haber right there. Against the Houston Rockets, the Docs team. And they lost a very tight game. I mean, it was actually tight towards the end of it. 119-106. They should be playing around the time of this video, or if not, they're about to tip off. So, as soon as I finish with this, I'll be watching this game for the rest of the evening. I had a couple of complaints about this. On one hand, I complained about the ref calling in this game. There were a lot of missed calls in this game that really surprised me. They just it was if it wasn't fouls being missed, it was travels that being missed. Steph Curry at one moment during the game carried the ball for at least 5 steps, and I'm just wondering, like, where's the whistle? Like, did the referees swallow their whistles? Did they leave it in the locker room at halftime? Like, what's going on here? But that was the only thing I had to complain about the referees. But the thing that I really need to complain about, and the Doc may or may not be happy about this, and I've mentioned this on our Facebook account at Debate Amongst Friends, is the offensive efficiency and how the guard play is going to be so important for the Rockets heading into the game to try to win Game 1. And in my predictions, I actually said that the Warriors going to steal Game 1. And I actually think they're actually going to steal Game 2 as well too tonight. But they got to stop dribbling the ball too much. And maybe or maybe not, it's not ISO, but James Harden is dribbling the ball way too much. And by the time they're actually making a basketball move to score, it's 5 seconds left on the shot clock. And that is more of an advantage for the Warriors than it is for the Rockets. So I foresee possibly they deviate away from that and do a little bit more ball distributing, moving the ball a lot more. And a lot of James Harden's turnovers that happened during Game 1 was the fact that he kept dribbling too much. So by the time he's actually driving to the basket, people are already inside the passing lanes. So, if he's trying to kick it out to Trevor Ariza, And let's say Kevin Durant is on him, he's already in the passing lane. It's an easy steal. It's an easy turnover. And that was just something that happened throughout the entire night. And I'm just wondering, Coach D'Antoni, what are you thinking about right now? Like at this point, you need to tell them to, you know, get a little bit more quicker with it. You're supposed to be the guy who brought to the NBA the 7 seconds or less rule to playing offense, and I'm not seeing that right now. And perhaps they do that tonight. Maybe it have to be when they go out to Oracle and Oakland to face off against the Warriors at Game 3. I don't know, but something has to change if they're going to try to get themselves back into this series. If not, whereas a lot of analysts are starting to say, including Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal, who for some reason can never agree on anything, it's going to end up being the sweep. I still think it's probably going to still go 7 games. I think they're going to recover. But if they play the way they played back on the 14th, then it's just going to be a bloodbath. And people are going to start calling them the you changing up the Houston Rockets name to include Warriors players, like how Toronto is now deemed LeBronto. And I'm not gonna keep going with the names because it made the doctor pretty upset when I started trolling him with that. But that's here and there. But like I said, I just wanted to quickly go through the show real quickly. I'm pretty much at endgame right now. Um, did I already do my predictions for that? Yes, I did. I said that the Warriors will win tonight. Um, and once again, no disrespect to the Rockets. I am on record saying that they're the best team as far as balance, but they need to play better. If they don't play better, it's just going to be a thing. They're going to be out there fishing, wondering, well, what if? And perhaps end up being the very next Toronto Raptors or the Washington Wizards or uh, the Oklahoma City Thunder, which that one was really just a bad experiment gone wrong. But I'm just going to quickly go through my final thoughts because there was a couple of things that happened. So, firstly, so I enjoy a game called Borderlands 2. Myself, the Duke, and the Doc. We all enjoyed Borderlands. The rumor going around for Borderlands was we're going to get Borderlands 3 an announcement at E3 this year. Based off of sources close to the game, it was initially set that it was going to be announced for it, but as far as 2 hours ago, a YouTuber named Dirge, who's really, really engaged in the Borderlands community, mentioned that there's most likely no Borderlands 3 news happening at E3 this year, and perhaps we won't hear anything back about Borderlands 3 until 2020. I can't trust it anymore. Randy Pitchford, who is one of the main people out there in Gearbox, is a notorious troller, so I'm gonna have to wait and see. Am I looking forward to a new game? Absolutely. Am I bored with Borderlands 2? Not really, because there's still so much things that you can do for this game. Um, oh, that was another one actually. Uh, it was revealed, I want to say yesterday, that a crossover game is being announced. We would have the Street Fighter universe, including the Ryu's, Ken's, Sagat's, and Sagat's and Blanca's, having a crossover game with the Power Rangers. It was just a news article pushed out right now. Not a lot of details happening, but if there's more details coming out, I'm gonna probably talk about it a little bit more in another final thought. And the last thought that I have is about the NBA lottery that happened last night as well too. The Phoenix Suns will be getting the first pick this year. My Knicks are number 9. Sorry, I just want to take a moment to somber the loss of my Knickerbockers not being the top 5 pick. Other notable picks happening: the Cavaliers, who has the Brooklyn pick. I know a certain person who is seasonal in October is kicking himself in the butt. Uh, they got the number 8 pick. The Philadelphia 76ers, who got the 10th pick, uh, that was also via the Los Angeles Lakers. The Clippers have the number 12 pick via the Detroit Pistons. Phoenix Suns have another pick, which is the number 16 pick via the Miami Heat. Atlanta Hawks via the Timberwolves. And that's about it as far as the notable ones. But I'm looking forward to this draft. I think it's going to be pretty intense. I can't wait to see as we get towards the draft who myself and the Doc and even Q Rich, we could probably get him onto it. And, give our predictions about who's going to get drafted, who won't be drafted. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are at endgame. We're going to stop the show real quickly. Like I said, this is going to be a quick show. This is just the way that the professor does it. He's straight to the point. But tonight's track is a banger. Hopefully, you enjoy some of nostalgia music because this is from Danger Doom, which is the combination of MF Doom and Danger Mouse from the Mouse and the Mask album back in 2005. The name of the track is Basket Case. Make sure you always support the artist. Also support Croup Dog, who does our intro track. I don't know if you've seen it. If you're just catching it right now, I'm sorry you caught the end of the show, but we have a brand new intro song, of intro video actually for us. So tonight was the test for us to actually play this track for you. So if you like it, make sure you hit a like button on here, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon to join our notification squad. Also, make sure you subscribe to the other channels under the Business Amongst Friends label, both the Marking Out Amongst Friends, who will be talking about professional wrestling, that is Jay Riddy and Lady T, as well as Duke It Out, which is, of course, the combination of the House of Thomases, the Duke and Duchess, as they talk about politics and pop culture. If you like, and if you like the t-shirt I'm wearing right now, is available right now on teesprings.com/store/debate amongst friends. And yes, it says trash, and the spelling is incorrect for a reason. If you want to know what that is, hit that in the comments. Let us know what else we can definitely do to try to make this whole thing a little bit more better. Coming up next month, we will be starting Gaming Amongst Friends as well too. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Follow the Debate Amongst Friends Twitter account, which is at DebateAmongFra. Follow our Facebook account or our Facebook accounts. We got our Instagrams. You can also listen to us offline on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, TuneIn, and Player FM. You can follow myself on Twitter at Ken86. And that's about it. Thank you very much. And this is the Professor John Gotti signing off. Goodbye, mwah, and good night. Bang!
clock commands you to proceed with your case.